2 months ago, I went to the very first TwitchCon in Europe. I've distilled all the information across the panels that I went to into 5 key tips on how to grow and monetize your Twitch channel. Tip number 1 is you do not need to quit your day job in order to grow on Twitch. I'm gonna say that one more time. You do not need to quit your job. It was one of the most surprising things to me going to TwitchCon. I kind of assumed that everyone who was successful on Twitch or had grown to a substantial following were doing Twitch full time, and that really was not the case. I met so many streamers who were working full time as nurses or designers or illustrators or web developers who were balancing successfully a full-time job with a Twitch career. One example of this was a streamer called Gumdrops who specializes in the WoW economy in World of Warcraft. He started streaming as he was working full-time. That led to a job offer at Ubisoft, which he now balances a full-time job with streaming on Twitch, as well as going to events like TwitchCon. So in summary, you do not need to rip off that financial security blanket in order to make it on Twitch. Yes, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. There are going to be some late nights, there are going to be some early mornings, but it is definitely very possible to grow and maintain a career and get some financial income out of Twitch while also working a full-time job. The second point, and this is honestly something that was core across every single panel that I went to, and that was be authentic to yourself, be authentic to your brand. I think this was largely in part due to the influx of mobile game sponsorships within the Twitch platform. There are a ton of mobile games out there who have a lot of ad spend to spend, and there are a lot of streamers out there looking for their first sponsorship deal to get that validation and to also pay their bills. There is nothing inherently wrong with taking a mobile sponsorship if it aligns with your brand values. If you're a Diablo 3 streamer who gets an offer to work with Blizzard for a Diablo mobile sponsorship, that has a greater chance of matching with what your core audience wants and expects out of your brand. If you're an Apex Legends streamer and you take, I don't know, a sponsorship for Bunny Bonanza 3, they probably will not be enjoying that content. So these are some guidelines to follow when getting your first sponsorship deal. Number 1, always get a contract. Always. This will protect you in the long term and it'll protect the brand in the long term, and if they're not willing to offer a contract, then this is really something you should be thinking about twice. Secondly, be realistic. Yes, it's fantastic to align your brand values and always produce content that your community is happy with, but you need to pay the bills as well. And so one of the ways to circumvent that shilling time is to be transparent about it with your community. There was one particular streamer who announced to chat that he was saving for his house. He had some goals, he had some financial responsibilities to take care of, and that eventually led to his community understanding the need for him to take these sponsorship deals, and they actively encouraged them after he started lapsing with some of the sponsorships. So they were understanding, they encouraged it, they were aware of the situation and why he needed to take those deals. So in short, focus on your content, make sure that your sponsorship deals do align with kind of what your audience expects, and be transparent about them, and that's a good way to kind of alleviate some of the community tension that may arise from taking sponsorships. Good, done. Tip number 3, there are a lot of people streaming on Twitch, and discoverability has always been a core problem at the heart of the Twitch platform, which is why many people advocate for not just having a Twitch stream, but also a YouTube channel, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever else. You need to diversify your content in order to reach as many eyeballs as possible. I'm just going to read off my notes here because this is a bit of a long paragraph. Twitch confirmed at the opening keynote that they're committing to making your content more discoverable to potential viewers. They're completely rebuilding the search functionality and encourage streamers to tag their content appropriately. This is vitally important in helping someone find your Dance Dance Revolution mukbang if you're doing something niche or unique. Tag it as such and the viewers will come to you. That was actually from the Medium article that I wrote to support this. Go check it out if you don't feel like, watching my face. So the key here, tag your content, make sure it's discoverable, and people will be able to find you. The fourth point, and this is really important, this goes for any kind of content creator out there. Diversify your income, diversify your content. Also, run ads on your Twitch VODs. I will get more into this later on. Starting off with monetization, there are many different avenues in which you can monetize your content online. You can sell merch, you can have sponsored streams, you can have affiliate links, you can have brand deals and sponsorships. Patreon as well is another very good option. But this diversification also needs to extend to the content that you produce as well. Firstly, when you produce content across YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and everything else, you're providing the opportunity for more people to see that content, and the idea here is to cross-pollinate across all of these different platforms. You should be trying to take advantage of YouTube's discoverability, for instance, to get more people to see your content and then bring them to your Twitch channel. Vice versa on Twitch, you should be trying to bring those viewers from Twitch and that community across to your YouTube and Instagram and Snapchat. The other reason this is really important is that online platforms come and go, and if YouTube was to go bust tomorrow and that's where the bulk of your content is, then you're going to have a really hard time trying to recover from that. Whereas if you have different communities across all these platforms, yes, it may take a while to build up, but there's a lot less risk associated with that by putting all of your eggs in one basket. Lastly, we're going to bring it back to Twitch ads. Gumdrop's TSM mentioned in the Making Money and Having Fun panel that he actually generated 40 to 50% of his revenue from ads. The reason this worked so well for him is because he streams about the WoW economy. That is a very niche subset that provides value after the stream has actually ended. So he provides value for people who want to go back and rewatch some of his content because that content is still relevant. So if you produce content that still has value after the stream has ended, you really should look into monetizing those with Twitch ads. They can be very lucrative, and that was very surprising for a lot of the audience that were actually in attendance. Lastly, point number 5. If you're a creator, please do try and go to these events, whether that's TwitchCon, Gamescom, EGX, Comic-Con, wherever else. This serves both a financial benefit as well as a community-oriented one. Gaming is largely a consumption-based hobby. You're consuming media, you're consuming content, and that relationship can very much be one way. And when you go to events like TwitchCon or Gamescom or wherever else, you're going to be around a very niche subset of gamers who will share a lot of the values that you actually have. So it gives you an opportunity to meet your peers, to meet people that you can grow and collaborate with, and it's a really good time. Second of all, networking at these events is hugely beneficial to you. Never again will you receive an opportunity to network with people from Corsair or Asus or Nintendo or wherever else that they're going to be this receptive. These industry people are there to meet you. They are highly receptive to your content, to your pitch, as opposed to receiving a cold email at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday night. So make sure you're prepared, make sure you have a pitch, make sure you have something to share with these people so that you can communicate your value and build meaningful relationships. That's another thing as well. Don't just meet people for the sake of meeting people and trying to get something out of them. Actually try and build meaningful relationships out of your interactions at these events. So that's it. That was a summary of the top 5 things I learned from attending TwitchCon EU, the very first one in Europe, and I will definitely be back. If you like this video, please go ahead, give it a like, and maybe subscribe if you're feeling very generous. I have a Patreon up and running as well, if you really like these videos and you wanted to support in the future. Lastly, if you wanted to check out Instagram as well, then please go ahead and go over there. I post some gaming related cosplays and that kind of thing, which may be of interest to you, maybe not, who knows. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one. Wow, that was a very awkward outro. I'm gonna have to get better at those. Bye!